So in this video, we're going to look at how to do the bronze level 2-point perspective housescape activity. We're going to start off by giving ourselves our horizon line. And then once we've got our horizon line, we mark our two vanishing points, one on the left and one on the right. And I'm going to label these as vanishing point 1 and vanishing point 2. Now that we've got our horizon line and our two vanishing points, what we're going to do is we're going to add our vertical leader line just in the middle of the page. From the bottom of our leader line, we're just going to mark a point as our starting point, our low base point, and we're going to take that back to vanishing point 1, and then we're also going to take that over to vanishing point 2, making sure it goes to both of the vanishing points. And then I'm going to use the height of my crate, so my starting point, how tall the overall shape is going to be. So this is going to be where the very top of my roof is for the house. And again, I'm going to take that over to vanishing point 1 and over to vanishing point 2. Now I'm going to decide on the width of my house. So in this case, I've made the right hand side a little bit shorter than the left because that's how it looks on the drawing. And I'm going to take these lines vertically up just until they meet that top line going over to the vanishing point. So I've now got my left hand side of my crate and my right hand side, and where those two lines cross over, where that vertical line meets the line going back to the vanishing point, I'm now going to take it to the opposite vanishing point, going from over on the left hand side all the way over to vanishing point 2 on the right, and then I do the opposite, going from where those connect on the right hand side back over to vanishing point 1 to give myself my crate. Now, because this crate is the full height of my house, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark a line just down from the top to mark how tall the roof section is. So I've come down about a quarter of the way down on that crate, and then I'm taking that point all the way back to vanishing point 2 and over to vanishing point 1. And it's going to be in this top section that my roof is going to fit into. I'm now going to judge about halfway between those two lines and mark a little point. And I'm going to just make sure that that extends up very lightly and it sits on that top line going to the vanishing point. That's going to be the peak of my roof, the top of the pitch. And then I'm just going to join these dots. So going from the top, just matching them up so you can see this is the one time I'm not going back to the vanishing point. Now that I have the right hand side of my roof, I can take the pitch of the roof back to vanishing point 1. And this would be the same no matter what level of difficulty you're doing for a pitched roof. And now where those two cross over, what I can do is I can join up from the pitch of the roof just down to where that other line is extending from the original vanishing point line going from the peak of the roof on the right hand side. So now I have the main structure of the house, I can start to add on the garage. I'm just going to extend that line just down a little bit. You can see I'm going slightly longer from the edge of the house, deciding how long the width of the garage is first of all. And then I'm going to now add my vertical. So just like having my leader line originally, it's just starting from another point. It's just moved a little bit further from where the house was. That goes vertically up. And then I can decide on the height of my garage. Once I've got that height, I'm going to take it over to vanishing point 1. I'm not going to extend all the way back to vanishing point, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to extend it until it connects to the house because that's how far the line would need to go anyway. And then I am going to go all the way back for vanishing point 2 because just now I don't know how long my garage is going to be. I'm then going to look for where it connects to the house, and I'm going to take that to the vanishing point 2 as well, because that's going to let me form the roof of the garage. I then choose how long the garage is on that bottom line over going towards vanishing point 2, and I extend the line vertically up just until they meet. I can then take that little intersection, head back to vanishing point 1, but only as far as that line I drew a minute ago, and you can see now I've formed the top of the roof of the garage. And because now I've got the main structure of the house, what I'm able to do is I can start to firm that in. I'm going to do it in pen so it stands out in the video, but you would just lean a little bit firmer with your video. Remember, we're looking for a really clear difference between how thick your construction lines are and how thick your outlines are. They should still be light and crisp, but one should be darker than the other. Now that I have the main structure of the building outlined, what I can do is I can start to add the details. I'm going to use the same process, but I'm going to do it lightly in pencil first and then firm it in shortly. I'm going to start by adding the width of my garage, getting the verticals in there, then deciding the height of the garage door, and I'm going to extend that back to the vanishing point. I'm only going to extend it between here and here because it doesn't need to go along the front of the house, as it's only for the garage door. I'm then going to estimate about halfway along the left hand side of my house to find the middle, so I can get my position of the door, which does go in the middle of this wall. I'm going to start by extending the verticals up to get the left hand side and right hand side of the door. I'll then decide on the height of the door, and I'm going to extend from the vanishing point 1 all the way forward through that point, and you'll see this time I have gone all the way through, and the reason for that is because the top of the windows line up with the top of the door. I'll then decide on how wide the windows are, get their position, and add the verticals in. I'm going to add the verticals in all the way up from top to bottom, and this is going to allow me to get the top windows as well as the bottom windows at the same time. And then once I've decided on where the bottom windows are in terms of their overall height, again I can extend from the vanishing point and project all the way through to get myself the bottom of the windows, and I use the exact same technique to get the windows at the top. And now that I've got the front of the house and the garage door with all their extra details, I can just firm them in. Again, I'm doing it with pen to make it stand out. You'll just do it with pencil a little bit firmer. And now that I've outlined all the details of my house, the last thing that's left to do is add a little bit of colour to make it look more realistic. And remember, you can add extra details, things like a garden or driveway, other items you might want to use to make it look more realistic.